Kia ora, good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. I am Mike from Markets. This is Kiwibank. Markets in a minute. Okay, look, it's been a pretty big 24 hours for the financial markets, both locally and globally. Let's start with the Kiwi, the New Zealand dollar. A few quirks there. The bird advanced to a high of 65.07. That was late yesterday. That advance probably helped along by unprecedented demand for an issuance of New Zealand government debt of an unprecedented size. Unprecedented, word of the day. We'll link something about all that in first hand. But the broad thinking goes, yeah, if you want to buy New Zealand bonds, you need New Zealand dollars. Yeah, more demand, higher relative price, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Whatever took us higher, that or anything else, the elevation, it wasn't sustainable. The Kiwi had a pretty choppy overnight session, ultimately finishing back in the increasingly familiar mid-64s. What made the Kiwis' failure near that 65 level all the more interesting was that global equity markets actually kicked on overnight, went higher. The Northern Hemisphere's major indices are up by 2-point-something to 3-point-something% this morning, depending on your indice of choice. Look, and sure, some of that move will probably be catch-up from yesterday morning's headlines about the Fed planning to buy corporate bonds. That news already really baked into the Kiwi, but yeah, there was also talk of a $1 trillion US investment structure, US infrastructure spend proposal. We also had Jerome Powell, Fed Reserve Chair. He was tentatively talking up the near-term economic prospects of the US economy. Equity markets basically focused on the positive, and I don't know, whenever negative news was mentioned, like COVID case resurgence in some of the more populous US states. And even Powell emphasizing that, yeah, near-term improvements, cool, but yeah, there is a long and painful road of economic struggle beyond that. So equities accentuated the positives, equities up, Kiwi down. I don't think we can say that the Kiwi's positive correlation with global equity sentiment is broken, it's more bent. Yeah, bent by a focus on Asia-related risk-off themes. So, headlines, Beijing, they are ramping up their COVID lockdown procedures. All schools in the city are now closed. Heightened tensions between the two Koreas. Those negative themes, they saw the Kiwi scratch a low of 64.12 in the early hours of this morning. It's almost a 1 cent peak to trough swing. Death taxes and NZD volatility, I guess. Yeah. It wasn't all bad news locally, though. Dairy prices improved by 1.9% at the semi-monthly global dairy trade auction overnight. Okay, day ahead. Not much really happening during our time zone, but inflation, a big focus tonight. The UK, the EU, even Canada. That might be interesting if you have some loony exposure, maybe. Yeah. Tomorrow, local GDP, gear up for that. Yeah, have a wonderful Wednesday. Kia pai tōra.